Conference recording started.
Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. Tonight is March 13th, 2022. It's 5:32 p.m. This is the UNIA-ACL Division 421 mass meeting. Tonight on the call, we have myself, Brother John, President of Division 421. We have Sister Tania, First Lady Vice President, Division 421, President Ross Marvin, who is active treasurer of Division 421, Sister Erica, coordinator Black Cross Nurses, Dr. Shams, representing out of New York, Brother Art, I won't say Virginia, but guessing, and then we have Brother Ross Enoch, calling out of New York as well, and that makes 7 on the call total. I guess I'll go straight into pledge to the red, black, and green. If you would, take your mics off mute, put your black fists in the air, find your red, black, and green flag, and repeat after me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
To the protection, defense, and security.
To the protection, defense, and security
Of the red, the black, and the green.
Of the red, black, and the green.
Red, black, and green.
Black and green.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa.
Dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa.
And the liberation of scattered black children.
Black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants
the teachings of universal African nationalism.
Universal African nationalism.
And I promise that our children will be instilled.
And I promise that our children will be instilled.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle
will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Until all black people are free and united.
Until all black people.
Until all black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One creator.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Grace first.
Grace first.
Sister Tania, did you want to? I feel like the format is a little bit off. I've been kind of rambling. We usually go back and forth, but you want to say anything?
You want me to do the guidelines for the call?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank
you. Our meetings are broken into 2 halves. Today, I'm not really for sure how this meeting is gonna go. So I know we're gonna focus on our topic. And then after that, we'll have time for people to come in and ask any questions, if you have any. And then the second half is our member share. It's important to keep your phone on mute when you're not speaking. Have a pen and paper available to take notes and contact information. Do not interrupt. Try not to go over your time during member share. We asked everyone to do about between 4 and 5 minutes. There might be people on this call with different ideologies and ideas than your own. It's okay to disagree, but let's not be disrespectful. Please do not use the N-word and refrain from using any profanity. Ladies, for safety reasons, do not give out your phone number during the conference call. Instead, give out your email address or your website. And that's it.
Thank you, First Lady Vice President. Yeah, tonight the intentions were to go over some of our secretary offices, correspondent secretary, and was it financial secretary?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Since I wasn't able to get the text out in time, and due to the we don't have a lot of our members on right now, we're probably gonna save that topic for another time. And tonight we were just gonna go over some current events. Some current events. So first thing that I wanted the family to be aware of as far as current events. This is the oldest of the current events, but I don't know if everybody's familiar with Brother Ron Bobb-Semple. He was the brother that did the Marcus Garvey impersonation. But I was looking at, I had the idea I was trying to get him to come out for Marcus Garvey Day this year. I was trying to like plan ahead for that. Come to find out, he passed away in January. So I just want to send love and respect to Brother Ron for the work that he did representing Garvey, even though he wasn't a active member of the association. He did a good job of emulating Marcus Garvey as far as his impersonation. Just wanted to let everybody know that he did pass on. So we're going to be able to have him at Marcus Garvey Day. Anybody know who he was or seen his videos?
Yes, I do know who he was. I seen him perform. I think he had came here to Atlanta. I forget where I saw him, but I saw him live. And I didn't even know that he had passed away. But that's a great loss for the Garvey movement because he emulated Marcus Garvey to the T, you know? And I don't think there's anybody else in this time who I've seen that can do Marcus Garvey speeches like he did.
Yeah.
And he had the full costume, dressed outfit and everything else. And in a way, he kind of a little bit resembled Marcus Garvey. He was short and everything else. But yeah, that's going to be a great loss. Usually when something like that happens, former President General Senghor Baye would have notified me and let me know, but I didn't receive no message from him in reference to the passing of Ron Bobb-Semple. But yeah, that's the first I'm hearing it. So thank you, President John, for giving us that update that he's gone to the land of ancestors.
Yes, January 12th, he passed on. Yeah, as you said, I mean, the only thing, I just wish he was an active member of the association, you know, but other than that, he did an excellent job of impersonating Marcus Garvey and sharing the words and the message of Marcus Garvey. He did a great job of that. I just wish he was an active member. So if there's nothing else on Brother Ron Bobb-Semple, I'll go to the next thing that I got. So these are just some things that I saw in the news during the week. We had talked about like kind of sharing current events and, you know, just trying to keep track of some things that I'm seeing in the news that are relevant to the organization. So we've heard a lot about, obviously, you know, what's going on in Europe, even though it's not our primary concern. But civil rights attorney Ben Crump and other attorneys are, you know, or at least from March 4th, they were working to make sure African refugees were getting representation throughout this crisis and making sure that they were still getting the services that they needed throughout this crisis. So I don't know if there's any questions or comments in regards to this, but I just at least wanted to let people know. I know we talk, sometimes there's comments about United Nations and things like that. So I just wanted to give an article on some of the things that are happening modern day with Black people in the United Nations, even though we're not. And this is the thing that I was thinking, like, what nation are they representing when they go to the United Nations? You know, I would think Ben Crump is coming in as an American, but he's fighting or claiming to be fighting for Ukrainian Africans. But the one of the things that we try to remind people is, you know, we have a bond, or Garvey teaches us that we have a bond that goes beyond nationality, and it's the blood tie. So I just would like to encourage, you know, Brother Ben and, you know, our other African brothers and sisters that are in other nations to, you know, organize and come together and develop this empire that Garvey talked about. But yeah, I don't really know what, you know, I don't really have a lot to say on this, but if there's any, you know, questions or comments, I'll do my best. But the point is, you know, the brothers and sisters, I guess, you know, that we've seen having issues on the news in the conflict. Brother Ben and some other brothers are trying to come together and represent them from the United Nations standpoint. Okay. No questions or comments on that. We'll move to the next one. I don't think I have this yet. There was a New York Times article, but I'm not subscribed to New York Times, so I don't have it anymore, but you can look it up. It was talking about, this is that one. A New York Times article, shunned by others, Russia finds friends in Africa. But it won't let me show it on here because I don't have the, like I said, I don't have the subscription. But just talking about some of the global relationships between the continent and the nations in conflict. So yeah. My point is, like, for me, it's like in times of need, people are going to look to those that can help them. And I just, you know, we look for the day when we as Black people, as Africans, we don't look for anybody else, for help and assistance. We only look to ourselves. And a lot of times these things, you know, like that previous article that I couldn't really share, they're reactionary. It's like you get in a situation you weren't really planning for it, and you're just trying to do your best to survive. So you reach out to who's ever, you know, willing to help you. But we should be able to build a system where that's not required. And one of the last things, they had a jury, if people are not aware, jury verdict for the ex-cop involved in the raid that killed Breonna Taylor. After 3 hours of deliberation, jury has found former Louisville officer Brett Hankinson not guilty on all charges. So, you know, we fight for justice, we march, we protest, but we have to be diligent and consistent as far as what type of results we're looking for, and what justice looks like. So, you know, I haven't really heard a whole lot out of Louisville. I haven't really been, you know, really focused on it either, but when the initial things happen, there's a lot of energy and attention that goes towards it. But when the final decision is made, sometimes we don't, we don't necessarily, I don't want to say protest is the right thing, but we don't follow up with the results. So if we were upset at the actions of the officer and we wanted a certain form of justice, and this is what they give us, if this is not what we want, there should be some type of response. And I don't mean protesting, anything like that, but organizing is where I'm going. But just if people weren't aware, that was the verdict of the officer that shot Breonna Taylor, responsible for Breonna Taylor's killing, has been deemed not guilty on all charges.
Hey, Brother John.
Yes, sir.
That guy didn't even go up for the shooting of Breonna Taylor. He went because he shot into her neighbor's house.
Yeah.
But you're right, man. There should be some type of reaction.
Yes, that's all I'm saying is where's the follow up? Where's the I'm not saying we gotta march down the streets and arm ourselves, but there should be some response, basically.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm not sure, and I'm not even sure how many people are really aware of the verdict, I guess. But there's so much going on, we get caught up in so many events that sometimes we lose track of the end results and what was the final outcome.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we got to keep working, keep pushing, and keep organizing.
Yeah, need to have maybe a committee or something to handle current events that could respond.
Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It's something, like I said, this is something that we've talked about as a group, trying to make sure that we are aware of current events and we're sharing current events, as well as doing our due diligence in regards to training and knowing the history of the organization. So it's something that we're trying to do better moving forward, but as always, we need, the right support group to execute it.
Right.
Okay, that's all I've got on that one. Next, it's only two other articles that I've got. I don't know if y'all are aware of this one. I'm not really going. But basically, we talked about the issues going on in Ukraine. There's a brother in Detroit that's preparing to go over there and fight. And personally, this is something that I wholeheartedly disagree with. I don't understand with all the issues that we have here in the United States and even probably in his backyard of Detroit. I don't understand the brother going, to fight for between two European countries instead of fighting for his people. So I don't know if y'all are aware, but you can look it up. It's a Detroit brother that is preparing to fight against Russia. You can look it up.
Wow.
But I just wanted to voice my disapproval, of these type of actions. But we have to be aware that, and this is modern day, this ain't 100 years ago, this ain't 50 years ago, this is last week. So we still have issues and I would say forms of miseducation to deal with.
Yeah, wow, that's Wow.
I think the article's short. The video may be short. It's too long.
Somebody, can you mute your line? I don't know what that is in the background.
Can y'all hear?
Victor Williams spoke to him today. Victor, does he have ties then to Ukraine? Have some ties, but he wants everyone to know that he is going to help the people that really need it. Ukraine is work on employment kind of training.
I don't hear nothing.
So yeah, and the reason why I brought this up, in Garvey's, I'm trying to think of where he says it. I think it's in Philosophy and Opinions. He's got a speech in there. He talks about the ideal form of government, and in his ideal form of government, he says there's basically a hall of fame as well as a hall of infamy. And you know, we're not trying to beat up on certain individuals, but I do think it is important to highlight behavior that is unacceptable. And from a UNIA African nationalist standpoint, this behavior is completely unacceptable. So, we have, as the brother even said, he plans to come back, after he goes to Europe to address the issues that they have in Detroit. We believe race first. We don't. It's not a lot of. There are some Africans in Europe, but no, we should not be fighting, between European nations. Those are my comments on that. I have one other. If anybody else want to say anything on the Detroit brother fighting for Ukraine.
I'm saying I agree. What you mean? That was it. I just want to say I agree.
Yes, brother.
Thank you, President.
Yes, Brother John. Greetings, Africans. And yeah, I'm thinking that brother is like a lot of other Africans in this country. He's out of his mind, and he doesn't know. I think you hit it on the head there, President John. Europeans fighting against Europeans we should be happy that, you know, we're getting a break, considering how long everybody, Europeans, Arabs, everybody, we have been at war for thousands of years. And yeah, this brother here, probably, I'm sure he considers himself an American. And whatever, seems like he's adopted someone else's philosophy here. And yeah, it's very unfortunate. And it's also unfortunate that there are a lot of Africans in America who are of his mindset.
Thank you, Attorney Matep. Any other comments in regards to Africans fighting in the war between Ukraine and Russia?
Yes. I haven't even heard, greetings, Attorney Imhotep, long time. I haven't even heard of white Americans volunteering to go to Ukraine. I haven't even heard of Europeans volunteering to go to Ukraine. They could be, but I haven't been up to date on the latest news. But this is the only person I've heard of. And I would agree with Attorney Imhotep that he's out of his mind. And it's just, you know, he really, really, really lost. So that's my comment.
Thank you, President Westmoreland. Yes, we blatantly, well, yeah, as an organization, we blatantly disagree with this brother's behavior right now. He's still one of us. He's still a part of the family, but we wholeheartedly disagree with his actions. Okay, last thing that I've got as far as updates recently, just our brothers out of Nation of Islam, they had their Savior's Day gathering February 27th. That's their largest gathering. It was in Chicago. Obviously, you can find the videos online, but I just wanted to highlight, you know, they support us. We support them. They're part of the family. I don't have any updates out of the message, but encourage, you know, the family to listen to the message from Brother Farrakhan from their Savior's Day this year. That's all I really got as far as, oh, only other thing is, let's see, what was it? Orientation and study group. So the parent body of the UNIA has, they just did their orientation yesterday. Well, the final exam for the orientation yesterday. This is just one small page from the information that was on the orientation exam, but it's good, excuse me, it's good that the organization is trying to get on the same page and trying to make sure the membership is on the same page and has a fundamental level of understanding. So Marcus Garvey and the UNIA in 10 items, you know, was one of the things that the parent body put together as far as the study information. So Marcus Garvey being organizer, productivity, economics, self-reliance, advocacy for hard work, Negro World, newspaper, the flag, universal anthem, African Legion, history, race and pride. These are some of the things that The parent body feels that Garvey was responsible for bringing to our people. In addition to that, there was an emphasis on the Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World, the 12 complaints and the 54 declarations, which we all should know and at least at bare minimum be aware of. But the parent body orientation class exam was yesterday, and we were supposed to have Division 421. Our exam was supposed to be yesterday, but due to some issues, we got to postpone it to next Saturday. So next Saturday, we'll be doing our final exam on Message to the People, course of African philosophy. And beyond that, I think that's all of the updates that I have. If there's not any, are there any questions in regards to anything that I shared?
Yeah, one question. Where did Ron Bobb-Semple pass away? Was he here in the United States or was he in the Caribbean?
Oh, let me see. You said where? Let's see. What if all this encompass? I'm not sure where he was when he passed. I didn't get that level of information. I just, like I said, I was trying to reserve his services for this summer, and I saw that he passed. So I just wanted to share it with the family, but I don't have all the details.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions before we move to membership?
Just a comment.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll encourage everybody to listen to what Minister Louis Farrakhan has to say, because he always delivers a very important message for us as African people. A very strong message.
Thank you, President Ross Marvin. And yeah, we even if we don't agree, you know, we have to, from an organizing standpoint, we have to have a level of understanding. And as Black people in the United States, I think we have to be honest and, you know, give the Nation of Islam their credit as being probably, I would argue, the best organized Black organization in the United States today. Though they weren't the first or the largest, as of right now, we all know that Black organizations, legitimate grassroots Black organizations, we're under threat, you know. So we try to work together and help each other and make sure that we sustain each other. But watching the video, supporting them, and having a level of understanding so that when we do come together in the same rooms, we know how to, you know, act in a respectful manner. Thank you, President Ross Marvin.
That's true. That's what I feel. That is that we got to kind of get over that that hump with disagreeing, and because I can disagree, you gotta learn to disagree with people and still like them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that don't have nothing to do with them as a person. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like me. Well, you know, you don't, President Rice, he don't eat meat. I eat meat. You know. And I disagree with him on how he eat, and now we can't build because of something simple of my personal life that don't have anything to do with what we trying to do as people. I mean, I'm not a Muslim, but if I see somebody that's doing good things, then I should be able to at least find something that we have in common, you know, something that we can agree on. And I'm gonna say that's one thing that why with the collective Black People Movement showed me. I know we're not talking about the CBPM, but it showed me how to be tolerant of other people and other people's beliefs, and still have a mutual respect, have a respect for them as a person. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to do that. And to be able to have an argument with a person and still love them. I mean, sometimes we just get so petty. That's just what I see.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I can argue with you all day and call you come eat. It's time to eat. Let's go eat. All right.
Thank you, First Lady Vice President. With that, I am pretty much done, but I just wanted to highlight, since you brought in the CBPM, for those that are not aware or not, and I think everybody on the call it already is, but make sure you register or sign up with the CBPM, support the CBPM. We had a meeting March 6th, so last Sunday. They focused on CBPM Farming Department and Human Agricultural Cooperative, but we are the Dr. Julius Nyeri CBPM division of the UNIA. So, in my role as officer with Division 421, that's one of the things that we'll make sure we maintain is that, I'm talking about supporting your other organizations, Black organizations. CBPM is, one of our primary, if not our primary supporters. That's all I really got. There's nothing else we can move into member share.
Thank you, President John, for sharing. I'm gonna go ahead and get out. Y'all have a good call.
Thank you, First Lady Vice President. And nothing you want to say before you got off? Thank you. You know, sister, we got.
Today is it something? No, just love your family, I guess. I mean, that's always, like pushing. If you got any grudges that you're holding against somebody, and especially your families, as long as ain't nothing serious, go on and dissolve it. All right.
Thank you,
Bye.
First Lady Vice President.
Bye.
Face first. Okay. All right. Well, go over. That was we have one other sister on the call tonight. Our Black Cross Nurse Coordinator, Erica. Erica, did you want to share anything with the family tonight?
Not at this time, but thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being here with us. All right, with that, we'll keep moving. We'll jump over to the brothers. First brother.
Nee is on the call too.
Oh, Jones. Okay, I see you. Sister Ifani, sorry about that.
That's okay. I didn't have much to say. I'm just listening. Thank you. Race first.
Race first. Thank you for being here. Oh yeah, okay, so I gotta get better with Master of Ceremonies, like MCing. At this time, before we went into membership, I should have did this. But anybody that's not a member that would like to be a member, please contact the office 678-631-9404, 678-631-9404, membership in regards to the UNIA Division 421. And any donations that members would like to make outside of the normal member dues can be made through Cashapp, $UNIA 421 fund, $UNIA 421 fund. So yeah, Garvey teaches us that, you know, there's a right time when we're supposed to ask for funds during the presentation. When exactly to do it, you know, it's up, you know, there's really no right or wrong, but we as organizers, as leaders, we have to be diligent about asking for support and resources and doing it at the right time. So I just wanted to knock that out, make sure, you know, at least ask, you know, if we don't ask, can't expect nothing. All right, with that, we'll go to our first brother on the call, longtime supporter out of New York, Dr. Shams. Greetings, Dr. Shams.
Greetings, race first. Yes, I'd just like to say that, you know, as a people, you know, we really have a lot more to learn about ourselves as a whole, and a lot more to share with those who don't know themselves. Because what I'm hearing this evening, it sounds like Willie Lynch in effect, you know, because with Willie Lynch, the so-called slave master, so-called Caucasian, you know, had us respecting them and denying ourselves, you know. So that's something that we have to get over too. And as far as justice for our people, you know, you can look on my website. I speak all about it. I had every document that supports, you know, how we should have rights. But the main document on that website is Dred Scott, because every time we present a right, it's knocked down by Caucasians and those of us amongst our own kind who think we are some form of Caucasian until the Caucasian turns on us. You know, we got a lot of work to do, a lot of teaching to do. And next week, I'm going to be hoping to record my presentation for the purpose of propagation and building up our numbers as well. You know, so I just wanted to put that out there also. And I like everybody to get a head start, you know, and reading what the presentation is about in case, like next week, I don't have enough time to finish it, because, you know, it's not like a small 4 pages like I did for the sovereignty, which we are under Dred Scott pertaining to that. They know we have rights. They know we should be sovereign according to various departments that they have, like the U.S. Justice Department, Resolution 75, the U.S. Supreme Court, and what have you. But they Dred Scott our rights, you know, and until and unless we get out here and get more people involved, we don't necessarily have to have a majority, but the numbers, the more we can get, the better. Let me put it that way, you know. And you know, organization, like you say, Brother John, that's very important. Organization, because with organization, we can work our ways around things and into things that we need for ourselves and that will better our people too, you know. So I want to give out my website, which is Not Helpful, USA Legislations People.bravesites.com. Not Helpful, USA Legislations, plural, people.bravesites.com. Not Helpful, USA Legislations People.bravesites.com. So that's about all I have to say. And if anybody wants to contact me, I have a number that's exclusive to the CBPM, our collective organization here, and also our government, the UNIA-ACL. I have not posted this on my website, and I haven't asked for it to be posted on my website so that I can try to screen some of my calls, you know. But that number is 1-718-373-2680. That's 1-718-373-2680. And I have another phone number that's on the website. You can call me on that one too, but I prefer the number I just gave out. And I want y'all to do your homework on the critical race theory, because if we let it go, they're not letting the Jewish Holocaust go. It's just about our people, the history on our people. I don't want that nowhere no more, you know? So, hey, we really got to think about how the Willie Lynch syndrome affects us as a people, and how our rights are being dred scattered or not heard by any Caucasian person, feeling that we have rights next to theirs. That's called Dred Scott, when they deny us our rights compared to them. You know, so race first. And again, my website is not helpful. USA legislations people.bravesites.com. And if you have any questions on it, please ask. I really want to put on a good presentation next week, and if I don't have enough time, I want to be sure everybody at least read or heard, you know, what I want to say before it's even presented. Thank you very much. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. Said a couple things. In the beginning, you talked about the responsibility of those that know, basically, to teach those that don't. And it reminded me of what's his name? Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. He's got a speech out there where he talks about it's the job of the conscious to make the unconscious conscious. And the Bible says, like, to whom much is given, much is expected. But yes, for those of us that are in the position of knowledge, we have the hard job of teaching those that don't have that knowledge. So absolutely correct, Dr. Shams, and look forward to your presentation at the CBPM meeting next week to give us more information in regards to Dred Scott and how it applies to our people today. Race first, and we'll keep it moving. Next, brother, I wanted to call on, and well, President Ross Marvin, did you want to go now, or did you want to go at the end?
You can put me at the end.
Yes, okay, no problem. Next brother that we will bring in, next brother I saw on the call, Brother Art. Greetings, Brother Art.
Greetings, family.
Are you in Annandale?
Yeah, Annandale, Virginia.
Okay, got you.
Just outside DC.
Race first, my brother.
Race first. I have nothing to share at this time. Just educating myself.
We appreciate you, as always, Brother Art. Next brother, let's see. Yeah, next brother we'll bring in our Legal Defense Committee Coordinator, Attorney Imhotep. Greetings, Attorney Imhotep.
Yes, greetings, Africans. Forgive me, I'm working here. I would, Ania was mentioning about differences that we may have with our fellow brothers and sisters. We can look at it as we have more in common than we have differences, and that's one way to try to work at the unity that we're all seeking. And thinking about how long we have been at war, the African has been at war, and I'm thinking it goes as far back as when ancient Kemet was invaded on 3,000 years ago, 3,000 BC, in that period, and all the other followers who came in, the Greeks, the Romans, the Persians, the Assyrians, everybody, the Arabs, much later, everybody's been at war with us. And we're still at war now. And that's one thing I like about Honorable Marcus Garvey saying, you know, race first. So that's our defense. We need to realize, yeah, we're at war, still at war. Gonna be at war for a good while. And we need to think in the sense of race first. So that's it. Thank you, President John, and race first.
Race first. Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. Yeah, it's interesting. This kind of builds into, I forgot, but some previous things. Yeah, exactly what Dr. Shams was saying about those that know having to teach those that don't know. In the UNIA, we don't have any religious or national barriers when it comes to organizing with our people. That's some of the obstacles that the other groups have, but for us as the UNIA, we don't have that obstacle. And that kind of makes our job in modern day a little bit more difficult because now we have to find a way to organize, you know, our African Muslims with our African Christians, you know, our Africans in Europe, you know, with Africans on the continent. But there's no national or religious boundaries for us in regards to organizing our people. It's about race first. And as you said, we have to find those commonalities. And that's why we have to do our job and know our information and share our information as Garveyites. But we also have to know their information and know basically their principles that they stand for. And when we know that, at least in my experience, I've been able to find principles in different teachings that align with the teachings of the UNIA. And I basically hold that up to the organization to say, hey, you know, your teacher taught you, you know, that you're supposed to work with, you know, other nations and other groups. So, you know, are you really doing that, you know, if you're not working with different organizations? So excellent comment, excellent point. We got a lot of work to do as Garveyites, and I think we got probably the hardest job of all of the Black organizations. Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. I need to charge my phone while I do that. Bringing our next brother, First Vice President, Brother Omasius. Greetings, Brother Omasius. Brother Omasius, you there? Okay. While we wait for Brother, let me see, is this stuff? Yeah, everything's hooked up. While we wait for Brother Omasius, we'll go to our third Vice President and Agricultural Coordinator, Brother Cornelius. Greetings, Brother Cornelius.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry to be so late, but I'm glad that I got a chance to jump on. It's not often that I get to be here. And I guess where members share, I don't really have anything to share right now because currently not a lot's going on other than that. Well, as agricultural coordinator, you know, right now, the gardens that I'm part of, we're getting geared back up for the spring. And so I hope to have some projects going and something I can tell you all about as these things are up and running. I'm still managing the community garden that's over there at the beloved community church. I know y'all, some of y'all are familiar with that over on Irish Street. And then also in that same neighborhood over on Whitehall Terrace, there's a community garden. You know, the city of Atlanta has a program called Aglanta. Well, what they do is they allow community groups to organize and to use city-owned property, vacant lots, we can use to have gardens. And if your organization is big enough and you meet certain other criteria, they'll actually give you land that you can use to set up an urban farm. So I'm in with one of the community groups, and we have a farm, not a farm, a community garden there in the neighborhood. But then I guess the other thing, I was listening to some of the comments since I've been on here, and I heard people sharing about us uniting as a people without any boundaries or any barriers between us, which I totally agree with. And I guess I have one question though, about political barriers, because you know I see, like, I can see more cooperation between folks from different incomes. I can see more cooperation between folks from different countries, between different religions. But one of those things that I have just noticed, especially in this current political climate of all of this rampant right-wing fascism that's resurging, some of our brothers and sisters who are down with that doggone MAGA Trump BS, I don't know how the heck you could ever reach them, because when we say race first, they don't think about race first. You know, I just think about related to them too. And I hope I ain't stepping on nobody's toes, because I don't know what everybody subscribes to. But I'll tell you another one that's been a trip to me is the ADOS folks. I mean, they have this idea. In fact, after the Juneteenth parade, and we were carrying red, black, and green flags, there was a brother that stopped me as I'm walking down the street with my flag and wants to talk about, well, is this your flag and stuff? And I don't know, we got into it, and I had to set him straight about how I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I do not believe in excluding or not connecting with my brothers and sisters from the rest of the diaspora. Because while they may not have been in bondage here in the United States and in the Western well, actually, because they only looking at folk in the West, in the United States, but they might not have been bondage in the United States, but all through the Caribbean and South America, and the brothers and sisters in Africa, the colonialism was nothing but slavery. We all been through the same stuff. And this idea that if you weren't born in America and descendant of a slave, somehow they have no unity with you, that freaks me out. So, I mean, I don't know how to bridge that. Honestly, I can't recall a time when I've talked to people in either of those categories who could be reasoned. There you go. Who could be reasoned. We're gonna do it again this year. Who could be reasoned with. I mean, I just that's a group that perplexes me, and I mean, I would love to call them brothers and sisters and include them and be united with them, but I'm just not sure how in the world you can reach them, because they have a mindset that decidedly separates themselves from Black people and identifying as African people. That's it. You know, I just wanted to share that. Race first, y'all.
Race first, Brother Cornelius. Said a lot. Hard for me to respond to all of it. Okay, I think the biggest thing was the political barriers. And yes, that is true. And that is a challenge. You know, I've got to look through philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey to understand, how he dealt with these challenges of our people that didn't want to come together under one global banner. There seems to be a lot of, somewhat individualism. It's still a form of nationalism to where individuals, they're tied to this land. So American descendants of slaves. They don't consider themselves African. And I think that's the direct obstacle from that political viewpoint is, what's our homeland? And us as Garveyites, we feel Africa is the homeland. Africa is the birthplace of civilization, birthplace of humanity. And in order for us to be strong globally, we feel that Africa needs to be strong. Whereas other people, some of our people don't really feel that tie to the motherland or the mother continent. And I think, just in my experience, that's the political difference that we have to work around is, where will, because we're very clear as Garveyites, we believe our power structure will be in Africa. When we say one God, one aim, one destiny, that one aim is a independent sovereign nation on the continent of Africa. So we're clear on that. Whereas others feel that our power base should be in the Americas or somewhere else. As far as how to get around that, I'm not exactly sure. But we have to come with the mindset of race first, and we're not really gonna. I'm not gonna change my mindset that Africa's a motherland and that's where we should have our power base. But I think we can find ways to work together, even beyond that. But I understand the comments and the concerns politically. That's a very good point. A couple other things you mentioned. Obviously, Juneteenth. I've been trying to remember this. President Ross Marvin called me about it a couple months back. But we wanted to participate in Juneteenth Parade 2022. The brother that organizes it, Brother Bob Johnson, I think he's looking for a financial contribution from the UNIA to participate. So, Brother Cornelius, I'll get with you on that. We talked about it briefly at the executive meeting this month in March. I don't know exactly what that number is, but as of right now, we still want to participate, so we're willing to make that contribution. But in regards to Juneteenth, would be looking for your support as well as any other brothers and sisters in Atlanta for Juneteenth this year. And then the last thing, you talked about Beloved Community Church. Well, you brought it up, and I wanted to send out I was with Brother James, our Constitution Committee coordinator and promotions coordinator. He would like to he mentioned doing a Easter egg hunt. So we talked to Reverend Slaughter at Beloved Community Church today, and we're trying to organize a Easter egg hunt for the youth on the 16th of April, so the Saturday before Easter at Beloved Community Church. And we need, Brother James is gonna need some support with that. That's the last day of High Executive Council. So not everybody will be here. Some people, I'm probably gonna be in High Executive Council in Philadelphia, but I wanted to give an update on that and let everybody know, yes, we are still working with the Beloved Community Church. So Brother Cornelius mentioned a lot. I mentioned a lot. Any questions or comments in regards to what we said? I think I've only got a couple more people. Brother Macias was not available, so I'll jump over to the conference line. Looks like we got people join the conference line. We got a sister that's on the conference line, CPM number 3094, Sister Mary. Sister Mary, are you there?
Yes, greetings, everyone. I came on late, so I really don't have anything to share, listening and learning as well. One thing I would like to do echo is, you know, my mom has always taught us, each one teach one. So just wanted to share that as an inspiration, motivation to what was already said, that I caught kind of like the tail end of it. Grace first.
Grace first. Thank you, Sister Mary. Yeah, and I think you echoing a common sentiment that we've shared repeatedly tonight. You know, those that know have a responsibility to teach those that don't. I agree. We'll jump over. Let me jump over to our brother. He's been on the call since the beginning. Brother Rock Enoch.
Yes, back with her forever. And Huru and Assalamu alaikum back Islam being that we've been stripped of our identity and we have had an identity crisis in this 1,000-year Holocaust that we've been entrenched in from the first dawn, from our end. With yourself in this time, in this dispensation pool of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid on the right track is very to in this political side, all of this. The first really, I just want to state that the opposition Negro Macy that we have in our ranks is appalling.
Enoch, you're going out. You're fading out.
You can hear? You can't hear me?
I hear you clear there, but you were fading out before.
Okay. So I guess. So it is very, very much disrespectful, calling control opposition or control opposition that want to suggest to us to side on with our oppressor, and I'm not all that we so-called fight for them when in fact they don't give it. And for brothers and sisters that fought hard and even took militant rock to do that at all. It's one devil against another, okay? One devil against another, and the Almighty Creator has it set up because of what they have done overall. And I'm not interested in fighting for the enemy. I don't give a damn about the enemy if they fall off the planet. Okay, I have, you know, knowledge yourself. You know better. You do better. You act better, and you play the field as far as intellectually. And it's not wise to get this false idea to follow the enemy. No, and we know that amongst our Melanite nation, nowhere within our Melanite nation, or even outside of our Melanite nation, has there ever been a time where you step over to the side of the enemy when your enemy is hurting you. contract, and there's nowhere in history that say that. No revolution where you have a revolutionary, and just hypothetically speaking, has where the revolutionary of which a nation of which they represent, and they're fighting for intrinsically has ever taken up the notation of siding with the enemy. So that sell out our nation is a disgrace, and that's with the enemy and whatnot. Know the enemy is wicked, and know that this ideology is outdated. We've marched against our enemy. We've tried with them on a social scale. The result of that, I'm speaking of the dog lynching. Okay, going wrong. There's no way that we could coincide with the enemy, knowing the truth of the enemy, with the fact that this wicked war that they have responsible for showing. Look at the fact that our brothers and sisters on the continent, as I was conversating with Brother Sham earlier, that's their fault. Okay, our brothers and sisters didn't ask to be in the continent of Europe. They didn't ask to leave their home country and come to a foreign territory. And then what the devils are doing with this biochemical or psychological warfare is they're pacifying a lot of, like these devils do over here. They pacify you because they know you're guilty and they're under a lot of scrutiny and whatnot intellectually. So they use the pacifist tool to try to say that, oh, well, we're better. We're going to be better when they're not. I mean, what? They'll pacify you with the technology. Oh, well, come on and serve us. Well, if anything, if history doesn't stand up well, look at what they were doing to brothers when we were supposed to be fighting for them, supporting for them. Okay, even to this very bastardly infraction. All the wars that we fought in, because of the fact that they are not weak, they're weak, so they use us. Okay, and every single war we fought in, we always get the short end of the stick. And then we had to fight. It's outdated. It's outdated ideology. It's basically we should have our own nation and be sovereign. You know, the perfect example of the slave mind. That's a perfect example of the slave mind. Why would you in your right mind side up with the enemy? Or that's the aspect of our nation, universally speaking, being that we're spread around the planet Earth, is suffering. There's some suffering. So being a part of it. The other thing I want to say is that that's going on in our nation, because I'm feeling it as well as a Melanite brother, and a lot of it is intergenerational. So, slavery was a crime, colonialism was a crime, but slavery especially from this side. Okay, a lot of brothers and sisters didn't go through the slavery; they only went through the colonialism and the imperialism. Same wickedness, the same evil, and so when brothers and sisters see that it's the same devil, same wickedness, same evil, then that will automatically intrinsically unify. And unity has always been a concept for us from the very beginning. Okay, when we had our first couple of civilizations, especially ancient Kemet, we got many civilizations that unity, and unity is based on the cerebral side of the brain. Okay, we're in this Eurocentric, left hemispheric, animalistic side of the thinking. That's also what that got to do with too, is the false thinking that we picked up being around these darn devils. When we go back to our rightful higher think, we will think like we're supposed to think, and we will think for each other on a universal scale. So like if one brother and sister, irrespective of where they are, suffering, we're all suffering. One brother and sister is well, we're all well. And that's the thinking that is coming into bear right now, especially with the way things are. And so one set of brothers and sisters hurt. All brothers and sisters are hurt, and they will come to their aid, irrespective of language. which is the that I, you know. So with that, I say bye for now. Bless.
Thank you, Brother Rossi. You're breaking up a little bit.
I apologize, Brother John.
Not a problem. Not a problem. One of the first things you talked about was what we were talking about in the beginning of the call. The brother. So there's an article out on. So for those that are not aware, there's a brother in Detroit that was preparing to go fight in the Ukraine and Russia war.
Wow,
and mentioning, the basically modern day. That's a modern day form of slavery. It reminded me of one of our declarations. So as Garveyites, as UNIA, we have to be aware of certain foundational requirements of the government. One being a declaration. All modern day governments, there are 5 requirements that they all have accomplished, and one of those is a declaration. And in the UNIA declaration that was presented August 13th, 1920, Declaration 47 stated that we declare that no Negro or melanated or African shall engage himself in battle for an alien race without first obtaining the consent of the leader of the Negro people of the world, except in a matter of national defense. And that national defense would be, our nation, the African nation. So it's explicitly forbidden for us to carry out these behaviors of basically, getting in someone else's fight. This battle between these Europeans has nothing to do with us. When our brothers and sisters in Africa, I think it was Sudan, not long ago, were in conflict, Europe didn't want to, help or receive, our refugee brothers and sisters. So we know their mindset. We have to maintain race first. And we have to make sure that if we are fighting, especially if we are fighting to the point where we're giving our lives, that it is for our people and for our nation, and no one else. But yeah, thank you, Brother Rockman, for the comments.
You're welcome, brother.
We have a couple more people. Let me see. Let me go back over to the conference line and go to Brother Sunni Ali, CBPM member 1298.
Let me see, man.
Brother Sunni Ali, you there? Okay. Let me jump back over to the Zoom. First Vice President, Brother Macias, are you available? Okay. First Vice President, Brother Macias is not there. President Ross Marvin, I know you haven't shared. Before I go to President Ross Marvin, there's another update from the Love Community Church in Atlanta. They're trying to do, what did he call it? IGUT, IGUT. Brother Reverend Slaughter is trying to start a program called IGUT. It's Intergenerational Unity something. But he's trying to get some of the elder brothers to sit down and talk with some of the younger brothers like myself. I'm in my 30s, but just trying to do intergenerational dialogue and make sure we have that connection. He's trying to do that on the second Saturdays of every month. So they did it yesterday. He told me about it today. We plan to support next month, so April, second Saturday of April. For any brothers in their 20s, 30s, well, I mean, any age really, because, whether you're young or old, you're part of intergenerational communication. Please let me know. That's all I really got, and we will go to, I guess, if Brother Sunni Ali not there, like First Vice President, Brother Macy's dropped off. Last one on the call, President Ross Marvin.
Yes, greetings, family. Greetings, Sister Mary and Mother Marie. It was so good to see Mother Marie last Sunday on the call. She looking real good. And greetings, Brother First President, Brother Macy's, and Agriculture Coordinator, Brother Cornelius, and also Brother Art. And greetings to the whole family. President John, I just really want to compliment you on bringing in current issues that we face as a people. That goes beyond what we're dealing with the UNIA, from the brother who says he want to go fight with Ukraine to our sister in Tennessee and other issues. I think that's very important for us to keep up to date with current issues in the African world. And I kind of agree with Brother Cornelius. I don't understand ADOS fully, but they're one of us. But at the same time, I don't like how they don't accept Africa and don't accept the red, black, and green. But anyway, we got to keep on going forward. Forward ever, backward never. And again, thank you, President John, for bringing up the various topics you brought up earlier in the call. That's all I have to share right now. And big up to all African people.
Thank you, President Ross Marvin, Race First. I think everybody's on the call does know, but yeah, that's my Jegna. We don't use the term mentor here, but that's my Jegna, President Ross Marvin. So anything good comes from him. Any mistakes, that's what I take credit for. So thank you, President Ross Marvin, for your guidance and mentorship. So was there anyone on the call that did not get a chance to share before we move to close? Last call. Anyone that did not get a chance to share, or any closing questions or comments?
Yes. Did they decide the dates for the HEC?
Yes. Yes. So let me share. Good question. Pretty sure I got this. So HEC will be April 14th through 16th. We have it. We've been discussing it for a couple months now, but we have it on the calendar. Right now, I'm planning to go. I'm gonna see if Brother Omasius can go. Brother James was planning to go, but now that we're doing the Easter egg hunt, he might have to stay here. So April 14th through 16th, Thursday through Saturday, in Philadelphia.
Okay. Well, that's all I had to know.
Did you think you were gonna go, or you?
Most likely not. I was wondering if they're gonna have it on Zoom.
No, I'm pretty sure no. They hadn't talked about it. They've been focusing on the fundraiser and trying to get the building, presentable or cleaned up.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments before we move to close? Okay. All right. Well, we'll close out with the motto of the organization. Repeat after me: one God.
One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Destiny.
Africa.
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 Africa. For the African.
For the African.
Those at home
Those at
Those at
home
home
and those abroad.
and those abroad.
those abroad.
Race first, family. Go in peace.
Race first, peace.
Race first.
All right, I'm signing off. Get ready to shut it down.